Tom Lehrer, born Thomas Andrew Lehrer on April 9, 1928, in New York City, was a uniquely gifted American figure who blended music, comedy, and mathematics into a sharp-edged satirical career. Lehrer rose to fame in the 1950s and 1960s for his witty, often politically charged songs that delighted audiences with their clever wordplay and bold humor. Though he later transitioned to academia, his influence on satire and musical comedy remained enduring. Lehrer passed away on July 26, 2025, at the age of 97. Raised in a secular Jewish household on Manhattan's Upper East Side, Lehrer was a precocious child who began studying classical piano at age 7. His early fascination with popular music and songwriting signaled his creative potential. He skipped 2 grades and entered Harvard University at just 15. At Harvard, he majored in mathematics, earning his bachelor's degree magna cum laude in 1946 and his master's degree a year later. He briefly pursued a PhD while composing humorous songs for campus entertainment. During his years at Harvard, Lehrer's satirical talents began to emerge through songs like "Fight Fiercely, Harvard." These compositions, part of what he called the "physical review," laid the groundwork for his signature comedic style. Even as a graduate student, he dabbled in live performances, showcasing a sharp wit and a gift for parody that would become his hallmark. In 1953, Lehrer self-produced his first album, Songs by Tom Lehrer, investing just $15 to record it. The album included darkly humorous songs like "I Hold Your Hand in Mine" and "Lobachevsky," and it became a surprise underground hit. Without mainstream media promotion, Lehrer relied on word of mouth and mail orders, yet still managed to sell thousands of copies. The album's cult success led to further recordings, including more of Tom Lehrer and An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer, cementing his status as a subversive voice in American culture. Lehrer's musical style drew heavily from Broadway influences, especially the witty operettas of Gilbert and Sullivan. He parodied various musical genres with original compositions or reimagined melodies. One of his most famous songs, "The Elements," lists all the chemical elements to the tune of "The Major General's Song" from Pirates of Penzance, a perfect example of his mix of intellect and absurdity. After being drafted into the U.S. Army in 1955, Lehrer worked at the National Security Agency, an assignment he could not disclose at the time due to its classified nature. He jokingly claimed to have invented the Jell-O shot while trying to circumvent a base-wide alcohol ban. His military experiences inspired songs such as "It Makes a Fellow Proud to Be a Soldier," showcasing his ability to find humor in rigid institutions. In the 1960s, Lehrer became more overtly political. He was hired to write songs for the American version of the satirical TV show that was The Week That Was. These included sharp commentaries like "National Brotherhood Week," "The Vatican Rag," and "Pollution." While some of his songs were performed by other singers on TV, Lehrer himself performed them in clubs and on live albums like That Was the Year That Was. His blend of humor and activism earned him a cult following, even though he never aimed for mainstream stardom. Lehrer was a reluctant performer. He estimated having performed only 109 shows in his career and wrote just 37 songs. Despite the brevity of his musical output, he made a lasting impression with his fearless satire, lampooning militarism, environmental destruction, racism, and religious hypocrisy. As the counterculture grew in the late 1960s, Lehrer distanced himself from the movement, disliking its aesthetics despite sharing many of its values. By the early 1970s, Lehrer had mostly stepped away from public performance, shifting his focus to teaching. He joined the University of California, Santa Cruz, in 1972, where he taught mathematics and musical theater to liberal arts students. He nicknamed one of his courses, Math for Tenors. Known for his engaging lectures, he occasionally performed his songs during class, much to the delight of his students. Lehrer retired from teaching in 2001 but remained a fixture around the UC Santa Cruz campus and in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In his later years, he embraced his legacy with characteristic humility. He once joked, "If, after hearing my songs, just one human being is inspired to say something nasty to a friend, it will all have been worth the while." Although Lehrer largely withdrew from the spotlight, his music continued to resonate. His songs were featured on the Dr. Demento show in the 1970s and were revived in the musical revue Tomfoolery in the 1980s. He contributed to PBS's The Electric Company in the 1970s, writing educational songs like Ly and Silent E. Despite his long hiatus, he briefly returned to the stage in 1998 for a royal performance in London, delighting audiences once again. A pioneer in intellectual musical comedy, Lehrer's influence spanned generations. Artists such as Weird Al Yankovic and Randy Newman have cited him as an inspiration. His work was translated into multiple languages, and tributes to him appeared in plays, albums, and performances around the world. In a particularly forward-thinking move, Lehrer donated all his musical works to the public domain in 2020. By 2022, he had relinquished all copyrights and recording rights, allowing free access to his entire catalog. His website provided downloadable recordings and sheet music for free, a gesture that reflected his disdain for commercialism and his desire to share art openly. In terms of personal life, Lehrer never married and had no children. He led a private and introspective life, focused more on intellectual and artistic pursuits than fame or relationships. Known for his dry humor and sharp intellect, he was deeply respected in academic and artistic circles. Lehrer died peacefully in his Cambridge home on July 26, 2025, at the age of 97. His death marked the end of an era for satirical music, but his legacy lives on in his timeless songs and the many artists he inspired. Despite his minimalist lifestyle, Lehrer accumulated a respectable fortune from his albums, song royalties, and teaching career. At the time of his death, Tom Lehrer's net worth was estimated to be around $3 million. However, his true legacy lies not in wealth but in his fearless commentary, intellectual humor, and enduring songs that continue to challenge, provoke, and entertain. Thank you for watching, like, share, and kindly subscribe for more videos like this.